United States has declined to join the Christchurch call against online extremism. The White House, in a statement, has said that it supported the international initiative but was not in a position to join. The Trump administration cited the need for freedom of speech as its reason for staying out. Washington said it would rather encourage tech companies to enforce their terms of service and community standards on netizens. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said Moscow was sorry to see Iran's nuclear deal falling apart, but stressed Russia was not, quote-unquote, a fire brigade to rescue everything. Putin said that he was urging Iranian leadership to stick to the nuclear deal despite the US withdrawal from it. The Russian leader also said that after the US withdrawal, even Europe can't do anything to save it. He warned that if Iran begins to backtrack on its commitments, everyone will end up blaming it all on Iran. US President Donald Trump will put forth a plan to harden border security and overhaul the legal immigration system of the country today. Trump is expected to call for heightened security at the US border with Mexico and stricter limits on legal immigration. The plan will cater to applicants who speak English, are well educated and have job offers. Trump will also call for the funding of his elusive border wall and boost US entry fee to pay for security infrastructure. Remember, this speech comes after the US government said it detained nearly 1 lakh people crossing the southern border for the second month in a row in April. The number of people detained is the highest number since 2007. A shocking audio has revealed pilots confronting Boeing about 40 737 MAX features days before the Ethiopian airline crash. In the audio, which has been obtained by US media, pilots of the American Airlines can be heard angrily questioning Boeing officials about safety issues in the MAX fleet. The pilots had warned Boeing of the software glitches. The audio comes from a meeting just held days after the first MAX crash. Brazilian ex-president Michel Temer was freed from a Sao Paulo prison yesterday. This after Temer was arrested last week for a second time under allegations that he was involved for decades in a corruption scheme. The majority of a Brazil appeals court decided that Temer should leave jail but would be forbidden to contact others being investigated in the alleged corruption scheme. The ex-president has also been asked to surrender his passport. Temer, 78, led Brazil between 2016 and the end of 2018. He was first jailed in March and held in a Rio de Janeiro facility but was released a few days later. Sudanese protesters staged a sit-in outside the Defense Ministry in Khartoum. They said that they won't move unless their demands are met. The army and the opposition have decided that the transition period would last for 3 years. The protest movement was demanding a civilian-led transition period. The military said that out of the 3-year transition period, the first 6 months will be allocated to signing peace accords with rebels in the country's war zones. A man in Sudan's Khartoum shared video clips on social media describing a shooting by armed forces. The 22-year-old man said he was been filming the protests in the country for the last 5 months. He said he is just a citizen who's documenting the events for the people so that they know what is going on. Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido entered the National Assembly in Caracas despite a blockade imposed by the security forces. Soldiers had the building guarded but made no attempt to stop Guaido and other members of the opposition from going in. While entering the building, Guaido said he was attending regardless of the military takeover of the palace. The Assembly's vice president was arrested on the 8th of May for alleged treason. Elon Musk's SpaceX launched 60 small satellites into low Earth orbit from its Air Force station in Florida yesterday. SpaceX is an aerospace manufacturer and space transportation services company founded by Elon Musk. Each satellite weighs 500 pounds, making the launch the heaviest payload for any SpaceX rocket to date. Musk expects the launch services to generate around $3 billion revenue per year. Through this mission, Elon Musk intends to develop a new craft capable of flying paying customers to the moon and eventually trying to colonize Mars. As many as 2,000 satellites are expected to be launched every year. Catastrophic campfire in California in November 2018 was caused by electrical transmission lines owned by Pacific Gas and Electric. The state agency that has issued the statement said it conducted a very meticulous and thorough investigation. The campfire destroyed most of the town of Paradise in California and resulted in 85 civilian fatalities and the destruction of more than 18,800 structures. The town of Paradise once had a population of nearly 27,000 residents. The International Army Scout Masters competition will be organized at Jaisalmer from 24th of July to 17th August. It is the first time India is conducting and participating in this competition. The competition will be conducted in 5 stages and will showcase combat training and promote camaraderie among contestants. It will also facilitate sharing of best practices as well as develop military and technical cooperation between participating nations. The visiting team of officials from participating countries have even complimented the organizers for creating the excellent infrastructure for the competition. The Indian Air Force has given a befitting tribute to Wing Commander Abhinandan Vardhaman's squadron. The MiG-21 Bison squadron has now gotten a Falcon Slayers patch. On your screens is a special patch. The 51 Squadron patch shows a MiG-21 in the foreground and a red-coloured F-16 in the background under crosshairs. It shows the F-16 as the MiG's target. It is common for squadrons to adorn their uniforms with the unit's great feats. An American research institute has made giant strides in robotics. It has developed a humanoid robot that can make its way across a narrow, tightrope-like walkway. In this video, you can see Atlas, the robot, walking across concrete blocks that have been laid out between 2 platforms. The robot could do this with the help of sensors that use laser light pulses to measure distances and give precise images of the environment around it. The Florida-based Institute for Human and Machine Cognition is working on the robot's algorithm to further improve its control, perception, and planning. Resembling the helmet of a Star Wars stormtrooper, a driverless electric truck began daily freight deliveries in Sweden in what's been described as the world's first. The CEO of Swedish startup Unrest has said that the company was in partnership talks with major suppliers to help scale production and deliver orders. Unrest is looking to apply for more public route permits and was planning to expand in the United States. Unright's teapot is 26 tons when full and does not have a driver's cabin, which it estimates reduces freight operating costs by around 60% versus a diesel truck with a driver. Disney is all set to take full control of streaming service Hulu. The deal has been finalized with Hulu's co-owner, Comcast. Comcast will now sell its 33% stake in Hulu to Disney in the next 5 years, making Disney a majority shareholder in Hulu. Hulu will essentially become a Disney product after the deal is finalized. The move comes as Disney eyes a bigger share of the global video streaming market. Home to hit shows like Handmaid's Tale, Disney expects Hulu to become an asset in its fight against Netflix.